I'd like to call this meeting to order at 4:33 p.m. on Wednesday, November 11th. Welcome to the Fitchburg Cultural Council special meeting to discuss council priorities. This is a public meeting. This is being filmed and it is being recorded. Anyone it has their face here is also on TV, FATV. We welcome members of the public to join our meetings. However, they are allowed to speak only at the beginning, and as long as it pertains to the agenda, they can have some comments. I can see that we don't have any members of the public here at the moment. I believe that's right, Nate. No one here from the public?
That is correct.
Thank you. Our attendance today is myself, Tamar Russell Brown. For the record, Audrey, we have Audrey Pendleton Chow taking notes. Casey Taylor is with us, Eileen Berger, Jim Cragen, Joe Bowen, and Matt Brunn. Hope I pronounced that right, Matt. Thank you all for attending. I wanted to remind us of the work the Cultural Council does, that we are a body that is put in place by the city of Fitchburg. We are also part of the state level, which our role is to elevate the rich cultural life in the state of Massachusetts and do this locally. So for this reason, today we are meeting specially to determine our council priorities so they can be recorded by Friday and posted on the website, which will be available for grantees. So we'll get right into it. The council priorities as listed from last year are on the website, and we put together a list of items I listed in the notes for this meeting. There were 8 items that I put together as things that were mentioned by the community as things that they would like to see as priorities for us. And so I took those notes and put them into last year's priorities. And so Joe, you can help me with how this goes. So if anyone would like to mention anything that I've missed that they would like to add to these priorities, now is the time.
Can you put them back up so that we can look at it?
You want me to share them?
Yeah.
Yes, if you could share what we're voting on, that would be good. Also, Tamar, do we have a quorum present so we have a valid vote tonight?
I believe we have enough. Yes.
So there's 11 in the council, and there is 6 of us. That should count for quorum, right, Joe?
Yes.
Awesome.
You're gonna have to give me a second. I wasn't prepared to share my screen.
Sorry, I would have done it, but now I'm taking notes.
That's okay. Just give me a second. Thank you for your patience. May I share my screen? Here we go. So last year's, if you can see here in the purple, these are last year's priorities. The areas in yellow are things that I've added. So I'll start at the top. I went through, and if anyone wants to jump in, go for it. The questionnaire that we sent out to the public, these 8 items were sort of like, I took the top of every section, the top 3 items, and put them as these 8 items here at the top. So people just in general were asking for more funding. They also asked for support for teens. This included school supplies, if it was possible to have more art supplies. They said they wanted to see free events. Also in the community, we need space for artists. There was quite a bit about theater and live outside music events, which I think kind of falls into the free event category. There was interest in professional development and education and media attention. And then because of COVID-19, this section here is something that we really need to take into consideration for next year. How we can restructure, or how we can think about helping people who maybe would have done an in-person event, now they need to take it online, and how can we help them? That should definitely be included. So taking last year's grant priorities, the purple text, I added the word teens. And then this section, I'll let you all read it. It says, shall I read it to us? We will also prioritize funding for events that can be made free to the public. Any outdoor live outdoor events and performances, whether music or performance. In an effort to respond to the request for more media attention via our own platforms and contacts, we'll prioritize events where PR is included in the proposal and even expense requests for PR services. Priority will be given to educational programming based on the needs of what our art community has requested. And then further down, I added this sentence here: due to the pandemic, events and projects on Zoom or other video or streaming platforms that sustain expenses related to audio, video recording, etc., will be considered. The rest is the same as last year.
Tamar, can you clarify item number 8? That was further up the top. It stated that it's not mentioned, and this is a summary of a public input meeting. So this should be a request to be added to the council priorities, but not at the request of the public. So the council should probably vote separately on that one item.
Okay. So this is coming more from Mass Cultural Council itself, not from our immediate community. So I should take this out?
Yeah, I would take it out. You can leave that priority later in the document where it's actually stated for publication on the website, and we can vote on that measure separately.
Okay.
I was rewatching the public input meeting, and people also talked about wanting more outdoor art as well to spread awareness of the art community in Fitchburg.
So that would be in here. And that would then be
Should we show the survey results? Because we still haven't announced it, and we do need to announce it at some point.
say that again, Audrey.
Should we display the survey results as well?
I am unable to do that. If you'd like to do that, go for it.
Give me a moment.
Does everyone need to look at this any longer? Did everyone have a chance to?
All set. Looks great.
Thank you.
Yes.
Were the council priorities based on the survey results?
Yes.
Okay.
So perhaps it's a similar thing. So.
You're sharing, Audrey?
So we got 19 responses. 12 of them said that they were residents. 8 works in Fitchburg. 6 lives in surrounding areas. 4 used to live in Fitchburg. And the rest work in Fitchburg or used to work in Fitchburg. These are the cultural arts, what are cultural arts and programs or services are you aware of and feel are important to maintain? I turned it into a pie chart. That's kind of ridiculous. I'll just kind of scroll through it and then I will post, I'll just post this document on our Facebook. What do you consider to be important issues related to culture in our community?
Audrey, would you mind not stopping to scroll for just a second?
Sure. For this one?
Yeah, I want to look at that pie chart because there's some pretty big chunks there.
Oh, you want to go
So
back
what
to
is
the
that?
pie chart?
Oh, yeah. So it's that affordable housing, artist workspaces, and is that neighborhood revitalization?
Yes, which was,
Okay.
it's a combination of them saying neighborhood revitalization and like downtown, revitalization of downtown.
Okay.
Can we move on, Casey?
Yes, please. Sorry.
What might artists and arts organizations do to make ours a more livable, prosperous community? Let me know when you want me to go to the next page.
Well, that's a tall order. Get rid of the drug problems in town, sure.
Yeah, right.
It's
That
a
might
lot.
be beyond our capabilities.
I think the root of that message was we need to give people more things to do.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let's move up a screen.
That's good, guys. We have been spreading awareness that artists, schools, and community groups can apply for grants.
And we're using the right tools.
Yep,
Mhm.
book is the most popular.
Sugar.
So people think that it's pretty clear.
So you can see on number 7, this is where I took some of those, some of the items was from this area. Thanks, Audrey. And the teens in this number 8 here, again, that was a big one. So that's where I put in low income and teens seem to be the top 2.
Community of color is a close second.
Yep. And again, they need funding. Theater seems to be important. Open studios obviously will be important. Anyone need another moment with this?
All set.
Thanks.
Mhm.
And then we have some work with media to do, which I think we can do. Thanks, Audrey.
No problem.
I thought the pie charts were beautiful, Audrey.
Thank you.
Works
Some
of
of
art
them are-
themselves.
The ones that are like huge, those are the ones that I did. The other ones, Google did. So
They're very nice, though. It
Yeah,
was a-
nice job.
yes,
Very
nice.
comprehensive.
thank you. Good.
So would anyone like to add anything to the priorities that we need to have going forward, or any comments?
No, I like your addition of the Zoom virtual performances. It's important. We need to have that in our document. So thanks for adding that.
No problem. Would anyone like to make any motions?
I make a motion that we accept the recommended priorities for our cultural council for the coming year.
I second the motion.
So we have a
Oh,
motion.
we're voting on all of it right now?
Yes.
I would say, yes.
Yes.
I would like to, okay, I guess, I don't know.
Audrey, would you like to speak to the motion?
Oh, well, I was gonna say, on our council priorities, it says that all applications must be submitted online, and I was a little bit curious of why that is, because I know last year there was a person that mailed in their application, and so that was a little bit of a question.
I'd like to just have a point of order. We have a motion and a second on the table for what is written as is. Audrey, you can speak to that motion, which you already have at this point. So we can open it up for discussion, but we do need to take a vote, a specific vote on what was motioned, unless Jim would like to modify his motion. So you can continue, Audrey, if you have more to say.
I think,
Um,
Audrey, to your question or statement, I believe that is a requirement of the Massachusetts Cultural Council that they be submitted online. And that's why we ended up funding that grant for with our own locally raised funds.
So is there any way we could throw an amendment in there? Say if someone doesn't have access to a computer, especially because the library is closed right now, or X, Y, and Z reasons, we have a some sort of council advocate that can work with people. If people want to like mail their applications to someone, then we can work with them to fill it out online for them.
I'd be willing to amend my motion to that, to include that. Thank you, Casey.
Good idea.
We get the language of that specific before we make the vote on it.
Yes.
So where is that, Audrey?
Can you do a control F?
It's right here. All applications, supplemental materials must be submitted online. So an amendment would go right there. It says no paper applications will be accepted, so we need to amend that. Eileen, would you have the language that we might could insert in there?
I think take out no paper applications will be accepted, must be submitted online unless unless the grant, unless the request, unless there isn't, I'm better at writing than talking. Unless the applicant does not have access to a computer.
Or needs assistance.
Yeah, so maybe like if for whatever reason applicant is not able to complete an online application, contact X person for assistance.
I think instead of contacting X person, you should specify paper applications will be accepted in the event online applications are unavailable or inaccessible by mailing the application to Fitchburg City Hall and list the address by the deadline date. I think that's specific enough.
What's the address?
166 Boulder Drive.
Does
How's
someone
that?
want to volunteer to help anyone who needs help with submitting a grant?
Can do that.
Awesome. So should we include that in there? Because right now it basically just says like we also accept mail in applications.
Well, the city of Fitchburg could receive them and contact us, you and I, with the applications. You're saying if they have trouble, that's what the grant training would be for. They would need to get a paper copy, which we could print out or help them get it.
Can we actually help them write the grant, or we're just talking about?
So the local cultural council is prohibited from writing grants for people and assisting people with their grants. We can suggest how we can show them what should go in each form, but we shouldn't guide on specifics as to what they should write, because it's not our grant, and we want to be sure that we're not, I guess, giving people the advantage, so to speak, when a vote gets taken. We want to make sure that everybody has an equal chance of completing the request.
Yeah, I'm thinking pretty much strictly like transcription for people who don't have access to computers.
Wouldn't it be better if we say, however, in special cases, paper applications will be accepted by mail? Contact, if you are a special case, they could contact me. I don't know.
We have a cultural council email. If they're
Maybe
doing this
we could,
online, chances
just
are,
forward it to Eileen.
Yeah, exactly. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
You could probably take out then, and should be sent to the city of Pittsburgh, blah, blah, blah. That when they ask for assistance, or when they ask for permission to send it, and we can tell them that. Otherwise, I think it's confusing.
So taking out what, Eileen? Sorry.
Should be, put a period after mail. Okay, and just for assistance, contact official. And then when they contact them, we can give them, we can listen to their story and say, of course, and tell them where to send it and by when. And when, I think, is kind of interesting. I worked the last 2 weeks for the polls. And if the deadline is the 14th, we'd have to give them an earlier deadline, I would think.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
At City Hall by the 14th.
okay.
I think I would still keep the same deadline, but state that the paper application must be in City Hall's offices by the due date. So the onus is on the grantee to mail it out in enough time or hand deliver it in advance.
Okay, well then that can be explained once they get the right to do it.
So Joe, are you saying I should take this out or leave this in?
Should it say maybe
It's
just
either-
please
either or.
contact us if you have
The due date doesn't change. That's the bottom line on it, really. So whether they're mailing it or they're doing it online, it has to be received by the cultural council by that due date. Because
Okay.
then that needs to be passed on, the paper application has to be passed on to the Mass Cultural Council the next day, along with all the electronic stuff, which happens automatically.
Yeah, I think the more information there is here, the better.
Okay.
Is there a possibility we can get a means of contact that doesn't involve an email address? I feel like it's kind of counterproductive to say like, hey, if you don't have access to a computer, here's an email address.
You could leave the
You're
mayor's
right.
office phone number. The mayor's office phone number is good,
All right.
and they'll
Good
get
idea.
the message. They'll deliver the message to Tamar, who can pass it along to whoever is going to respond.
So should I add the phone number into this section here?
Sure.
How
Do you
is
want
that?
me to
mean-
give it?
in our council profile, there is a contact, like it lists all of our contacts, including the mayor's office, mayor's phone number, and our email. So
Jim, off
might-
the top of your head, what's that phone number?
Yeah, I've got it. Hold on.
I know Jim's got it.
it might be extra to include all of this information in the council priorities because they can just click one tab over. Like instead, we could just say, just contact us. Is my thought.
Thanks for your patience, everybody, while we wait for Jim.
Sorry.
No worries, Jim.
978-829-1804.
Thank you very much. Okay, so does anyone have any additional amendments? No.
I have a suggestion. So Mass Cultural Council has sent us a bunch of, suggestions for COVID. And do we want to consider operational support as a priority?
Any
Can
comments?
you define operation?
Yeah, give me a second. Can we provide funding for operational support? Yes, the impact COVID-19 has had and continues to have on the cultural sector based on community input and community need. Local cultural councils could consider shifting from project-based support to operating support to allow organizations a more responsive, flexible support. Operating support-based funding can help the cultural sector in a year when projects and programs will be facing great uncertainty and many restrictions. Examples of operating support is funding expenses for artist residencies, funding supplies for arts and cultural programs, funding ticket subsidy programs, funding for the day-to-day operations of an organization that provides arts and cultural programming, funding for individual artist material to do their work, funding for streaming platforms for virtual programming.
So we've included the programming platforms, that's already included. Is there anything else that anyone feels needs to be included?
So the only person who is eligible to make a comment on that right now is Jim, because we're discussing his motion.
I'm not adding anything other than what I've already added to my motion.
Okay.
It's up to the council to decide if you want to add operational expenses.
Okay, so at this point, we have a motion, the revised motion. Eileen, do you accept do you second the revised motion?
I do.
Okay, so then you can call a vote, Tamar.
So
Okay,
wait, the full vote is to accept the draft as is, or
yes.
As currently written.
Audrey, you have an opportunity to make a motion to make another amendment after this vote.
oh, I do. Okay, I didn't know that.
You do.
That's currently written. Okay, motion by Jim, second by Eileen. All right.
So guide me, Joe, what's next?
Well, now you just
we have
need
to
to call the
vote.
vote, Tamar.
So the vote was unanimous. Do we have any?
Well, actually, the vote hasn't been taken yet. We didn't get any votes in favor, against, or abstaining.
So we have a motion to approve and we have a second. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So the motion carries. Now, we still are allowing amendments, Joe?
Well, any member of the council can vote to amend it since we're still voting on the priorities tonight.
Okay. Audrey?
I don't know. I just want to put it out there that Mass Cultural Council suggested operational support as something that we could add in our priorities.
So, Audrey, could you phrase that in terms of a motion, and then we could all speak to it?
Oh, we have to suggest a vote for it before we can discuss it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Vote to include operational support in our council priorities.
Second.
Casey says.
Could you explain what operational support might be?
So she just read from the council, like their language, what they've given as operational support. Some of those things are going to include, so for example, audio and visual, which we've already included, like that's operational support. They also mentioned what she read to us, which included, you know, artists who need support with funds for supplies, for example. I think a lot of these things, they weren't really in the priorities that the community gave us. However, I think the kind of things that I saw last year that we came through, a lot of these things will be included anyway. I think the council is just giving us a little more language so that we're careful to be sensitive to situations where COVID's affecting artists or the community or events. So
Maybe we add the language as specified by the council.
An example of
so there's-
operational support could be if FATV wanted to ask for a grant for operational support for for cameras, for Zoom, for, I don't know. It could be like, I feel like it's more from organizations that are eligible if they need help with operational.
Yeah, I thought we were working with starving artists, not organizations.
well, we do support a lot of organizations too, actually.
Mhm.
So,
Big ones?
well, like for example, the attendee that we had the other night came from the museum. So the museum will be applying for a grant.
Yeah, like the
They're
Fitchburg
a large arts organization in the city. So,
Okay.
so at this point, Audrey, are you offering that we would add some of the Mass Cultural Council's language to our priorities?
I mean, it's already there. I feel like priorities just mean it's just kind of saying, I don't know, it's just kind of highlighting that possibility. I think either way, we would be able to consider whether or not we want to, like if regardless if we add it to our council priorities, it will still be eligible to receive a grant from us. I think including it in the council priorities would just highlight it. But so, I don't know, I just wanted to put it out there.
Thank you. So Joe, do I need to take a vote on this?
If no one else wants to speak to the motion, then you take it to a vote. Yes.
Does anyone else like to speak to this? Motion by Audrey to add the Massachusetts Cultural Council extended priority list for operational support to our priorities.
Vote to include operational support to the council priorities as defined.
Stated by the Massachusetts Cultural Council. Would anyone like to make a motion?
We have a motion and second already on the table.
We do? I didn't see hands.
Yes.
That was heads.
I motioned
Wait.
to vote on it and Casey seconded, but we haven't actually voted on it.
Okay, so we have a motion by Audrey to accept the Massachusetts Cultural Council's content on an additional priority to adding it to our priority. We have a second from Casey. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Okay. The next thing I have on the agenda is to vote on an additional grant training date since we have an extended deadline. So we've bumped into other events happening on Tuesdays. I know this is probably going to it could affect Nate if we use FATV. If we do it the way we've been doing it, I would like to put on the table the possibility of having a Monday night date, but I'd like to see what everyone else thinks. I'd like to vote on having an additional grant date, one more training.
I would suggest a Wednesday because we've done one Monday and we've done one Tuesday.
And I believe there were school committee meetings on Monday nights for FATV.
Okay. So would December 2nd or 9? And certainly, Audrey and I did last night on our own. We don't need everyone necessarily unless you'd like to join us. And we had one person tune in on Zoom with us last night, and she had some questions, comments. It went really well. It's very simple. It was 30 minutes. It didn't take us the full hour. So, so you would suggest a Wednesday. So would we think maybe the 2nd of December? Would that sound like a reasonable night?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll give them a little bit more than a week to finish their
Yeah.
grants. I think that's a good
And we're
idea.
available, and we're online and available if they need us. So Wednesday, December 2nd, we'll do 6 PM again. Could I put that out to a vote?
I make a motion that we have a training session on December 2nd at 6 PM.
I'll
Second.
second it. Casey, you take it this time.
Jim made a motion to approve a training on Wednesday, the 2nd of December, 6 PM. And Casey seconded the motion. Do we have all in favor? Do we have any opposed?
I'm in favor.
All in favor.
All in favor, I'm getting this. I'm gonna get this. Thank you very much. So we'll put that out on Facebook and make sure everybody knows. The next thing, I had sent everyone a press release, which was a draft. I wanted to make sure that the city, FATV, WPKZ knew about the cycle being extended, the deadline being extended. So I wanted to make sure everyone saw that press release. Did everyone have a chance to look at it?
Yes.
I did. I thought it was well done.
Do you want to put that up?
That means I'm gonna have to find it. Just a
Do we
second.
know how much money we'll be getting out of the,
No, not because of the budget stalemate in Boston.
I see.
We might not find out till, what did Veronica say, January maybe?
January, February, maybe.
Yeah.
Here's the press release. This is taken just from our files. We had some templates for them. I'll blow it up here a little bit.
Yes, please.
If I made any errors, just please let me know.
It would be nice if we had some stationery, I think, that would show, we don't have to do it for this since you're on a timeline, but for letters and for things like that.
Well, there is in the drive. I mean, this is a file. The logo actually didn't show up, but in the drive, there's all the files exist. We don't
Okay.
have printed stationery, but I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
I saw a bunch of different, I was going through the files. I saw a bunch of different things. I'm not quite sure what the ones we've approved are now.
Can I scroll?
Yes, go ahead.
So I would add the training date in here. And
Good.
Just anything you see that needs to be changed?
I think it's pretty complete.
Yeah, I agree. It's excellent.
Yeah,
Change the
Okay.
make the last, at the very last, like the website, make that also a hyperlink so that it matches color and line, but that's.
Okay. We can do that. And I need to add the training date too. So I just wanted to get the council's approval to send out this press release, to ask FATV to take us on again if there's a possibility to get on a show. And then I also wanted to try to get onto WPKZ again with the new deadline. Oh, I'm very sorry. Very sorry. So can I have, sorry about that. That really does throw you off, the non-benefits of being in an office. So I'd like to put this out to the council, and could we please vote on it?
Before we vote on it, I have just one other question. Does the FATV have a community bulletin board? We could post this?
Does anyone know? I don't know.
Nate, you're on here if you hear
Nate.
us. A ring ring.
But if they have one, it would be good to have it on their community bulletin board.
Okay, I can make a note of that.
And Tamar, can you just make sure you verify the members of the cultural council that are listed in the
Do I have something wrong?
thing? I didn't see my name in there, but I don't know if there are others that aren't listed either.
No, I've checked it. Other than you, Joe, it has everybody that I have a record of.
I'm just gonna pull it up again. So Joe, I would put you here.
Sure.
I didn't
Can
put,
we mark that that Joe is an ex officio?
I can. I don't know how you spell that. I will fix that later.
EX space officio. OFFICIO. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Italian. Italian, it's Latin. Okay. All right. So may I have a motion?
I make a motion that we submit the press release presented to us to various media outlets in the city.
I second.
So I have a motion from Jim to approve the PR to go out to the press. I have a second from Eileen. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you so much. Motion carries. Thank you for your patience today, Fitchburg Cultural Council. Thank you for your attendance on a holiday. Thank you, Nate, for coming out and supporting us today on Veterans Day. I really appreciate it. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Before I just also say that Tamara and Audrey did a great job putting all this material together and presenting it to us. Very comprehensive.
I agree.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks,
job.
guys.
Welcome. Audrey is amazing.
Tamar, did you want me to, did you want to put that on the website, or do you want me to put it on
Put one on the website.
the council priorities? Onto the,
Please, please do it, Audrey. I'll send you the document as soon as we're done.
all right, awesome.
And
I make a motion that we adjourn.
thank you. Any seconds?
Second.
Casey, so we have a motion to adjourn from Jim Cregan at 5:15 PM. From Casey, second from Casey, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll see you guys all next week. Joe, couldn't do it without you. Thank you.